Hey, we're back with Paul Mooney. What's up, Paul?
Hey, it is morning, right?
Yeah, it is morning. I got your new book right in front of me, Black is the New White. So we're going to be promoting the hell out of that today, right?
A memoir.
A memoir?
A memoir.
Yeah, have you read it? You know what it is.
Was it ready?
I know he read it.
I started it. We just got our copies this morning, so I'm probably 40 pages into it.
Yeah, we got the book a little too late to read ahead of time, but
They lied. They said you had the book.
well, we got it.
You
this
felt
morning.
it was time for a memoir? Already?
No, the book wrote itself. I didn't write the book.
Yeah?
It wrote itself.
Oh, that's handy.
It was just waiting for me to come and pick it up.
It's more
Just
about
sit
your
back
relationship
and
with
have a
Pryor,
book
right?
itself.
Huh?
It's more about your relationship with
Yeah,
Richard.
with Pryor, and also where I'm from and my family and Hollywood and our society. So black is definitely the new white.
There's a part in here, I kept making notes, like the first...
Look at all the Post-its in your
Dude,
book
I
there,
can't.
Paul.
It's like, as a comic, it's like one of the things that drives me nuts is that when you talk about race a certain way, and Paul and I probably talk about it from different points of view, but it's like it makes the audience uncomfortable to hear about it if you're not talking about exactly the ideology they want to hear. And you were talking about that from the 60s, how people... There's a giant elephant in the room and nobody is talking about it. You say, I don't know how anyone, black or white in America, can stand up in front of an audience with a microphone and never mention it. And I agree. I don't know how anybody can do stand-up and not address race.
Well, I think they're afraid. You know, and the world's different now than the world that we lived in. And well, that I lived in, not you, because you're too young, but the world that I lived in, it took a half an hour for you to get your grits. The world that you live in now, it's 5 minutes. So the world has changed.
But what do you think about talking about race on stage? Do you notice different reactions now or different comfort level from people?
The reaction's still the same. America won't change about race. And I mean, it's because only a Mexican or an Indian can be an American because they're natives. It talks for itself. Everybody else is a U.S. citizen. And if you don't believe it, look at your passport.
Well, yeah, but, you know, can't have just Mexicans and Indians running around.
Yes, everybody's shitting because of the
they're
food.
only Americans. Nobody else can. They're natives. That's what it means. The rest of us are U.S. citizens. You think I'm not? Listen to me. I'm not trying to push something down your throat.
Oh no, I know.
It is what it is. You get you have a passport?
Yes.
Look at it. It says U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you are.
I'm a citizen of the United States.
That's right. Never forget it. You're not an American.
I'm an American because
You see the brainwash. You believe that?
No. You know why? Because it wasn't called America at that point. You know, it was kind of that time in history where a lot of conquering was going on.
But are you an Indian? Are you an Indian?
No.
Okay. Well, you're not an American. Are you Mexican?
Well, you know what? Then the fucking mastodon is an actual American.
Yeah,
or
no, there are none. You're just a U.S. citizen.
But how do the Mexicans...
A microbe.
Mexicans are short Indians. Let's keep it real.
But how do the Mexicans and Indians get here, though? Maybe they came from somewhere else first, right?
Where? I have no idea.
So they should be.
They were just here, so I have no idea.
But they were.
And have you got your census papers? They mailed them out.
I don't know.
Oh, I throw that shit away.
It's very funny. They actually have down there, are you Negro, colored, Afro-American, or black?
Really? They want to know. They want to know.
Come on.
Look it up.
They probably
Look it up.
You don't believe me? It's coming out of a black man's mouth. Look it up on the white man's internet. And then you tell me. Come back and talk to me. I'm telling you what it said.
Yeah, they probably want to know how you want
I just put
to
down,
address yourself.
I put down stolen African. I just put the truth down. That's the truth, so I put it down.
You just kind of write in your own...
Yeah, that's what it is. Stolen Africa. That's what it is.
But you weren't born in Africa.
Stolen, I said. I didn't say born in African.
Are you African American?
Who? No, I'm a stolen African. Are you hard of hearing?
But you're not African. You weren't even born.
Listen, my ancestors
You're an
are
American
African.
citizen.
Yes, now they're forced to be one. I was forced to be here.
You wouldn't have been a slave. How old are you?
My ancestors were forced to come here. What are you, living some dream world?
No, I'm just saying, if I can't be an American, you can't be an African.
But we're not talking about you now. What's your fucking problem? We're not talking about you.
I'm just talking to you.
Yeah, but we're not talking. We're not discussing you now. We were talking about me. How do we get to you? I'm confused by that.
But you were the one that brought up the fact that I'm not an American.
I said that we all were U.S. citizens. Did I not say that, gang? I said all of us, including me. Mm-hmm. You're not including me. You're including yourself.
How are you a stolen African?
Easy. Because my ancestors were forced to come here. And my blood was mixed, so I have white blood in me. I'm from Louisiana. What is wrong with you?
But look, he's got black blood in him. We're not sure, but we think so.
Yeah, he's got a
little
in him. Just a little bit.
Anyway.
Well, where were you born?
Well, I was born in Flushing, New York.
You have black blood in you, too.
Oh, I'm sure I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Sicilian? What are you kidding?
Oh, my God, you are black. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are black. Yeah, you're just passing for white. Get out of my face. Now I see what you're about now. You're playing games.
I'm playing games.
Yeah, you're passing for white. That's what your problem is. But go ahead. Sicilian, please.
Well, only half.
Yeah, now you're going to deny it. Yeah.
You got the one drop rule. I got the one drop rule.
You got the one drop?
No. There's no. Yeah, you know that quarter moon. Those are the rules. You're black. Yep.
That's
quarter
it,
moon. So, hey.
Damn.
Yep.
I should have slept in.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
God
So what
damn
are we learning today? I'm very
You're learning
I'm very
that
confused.
you're learning that you think he's black and you know he is. You learned a lot this morning.
Damn.
Yeah.
And we're all U.S. citizens.
That's right.
As
All of
opposed
us.
to Americans.
As opposed to Americans.
Yeah.
But I don't even think the Indians could be Americans.
Why you say that?
Because they had to,
Came from somewhere.
They had to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
They came from their mothers. This plain place you came from.
But who put them here?
Yeah.
What do you mean, who put them here?
We were put here, so who put them here?
You mean, who forced them to be here?
I don't know. what did the Indians start as seeds? Someone had to put them here.
I think they came over from, Russia.
All right, so then they're not.
So Indians are Russians.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
fine.
walked
So
over.
no one is the original.
Yeah. No, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So when they came here, the Indians just appeared.
But what kind of Indians, though? Then we got to get into it, because is it the Apaches? Is it the Black Hawk? Like, what kind of Indians? Because by process of elimination, you'd have to start saying, well, this Indian tribe is not as legit as the other Indian tribe because they were enslaved by this tribe. So if you go down to it, there's probably only one small group of Indians, and then you could say that the rest of the Indians are also American, U.S. citizens, just like all of us. So maybe there's one core group of Indians that are Americans, but that means 90% of the Indians are frauds, so the blacks are frauds, the whites are frauds. We're all kind of fraudulent.
Yeah, you think the
Americans.
Indians are frauds? Go to the reservation.
No, I'm
Let's
saying,
go
what
to
part
it.
of them, though? But what
Should
part?
we just leave? Should we just leave America then and let the Indians and Mexicans have it back?
No, I mean, the Indians have their reservations. I love the Indians. Don't piss them off. I mean,
No.
what's his face? The blonde-headed man, he pissed them off.
Custer?
Oh, yeah, he pissed them off.
General
Don't ever
Custer.
piss them off.
They knew him.
Oh, very well. Oh, yeah.
They knew when he was coming around
No,
the
but
mountain.
he pissed them off.
Yeah.
There's only two white people in history that I'm into that I'm big fans of. The first one is the one they said, John Brown. I love John Brown. He's my white hero.
Who's John Brown?
See?
Who's John
Oh,
Brown?
no, I know who he is, but the audience doesn't.
What do you mean? They know who the hell John Brown
They
is.
certainly don't, because I don't either. I was lying just to
You're
sound
kidding.
smart.
Jimmy doesn't know who John Brown is. I do, but
Who
why
is
don't
he?
you explain it to him,
Yeah.
please?
You explain it to him. If you want
I
to.
mean, you brought it up. So I
Yeah,
figured-
he was an abolitionist. That was he
shit.
actually paid with his life, didn't he? At was that a bomb? Wait a minute, I'm getting the story here. It was where was that? I'm sorry. It was by a ferry, right? Yes. I remember seeing this on the History
Well,
Channel.
he owned a newspaper,
Okay.
and he said that slavery was against God, that it was wrong
Yeah.
to have slaves, that we were all human beings, and that we were all God's children.
Oh, they actually did pick up arms and start-
No, they burnt his newspaper down. They burned it down.
Yeah, you know so much about him. When was he born?
Who? I have no idea when he was born.
May
He was
9th,
born-
1800.
See,
Oh,
good.
now you're getting information.
We take off on John Brown's birthday.
Yeah. Well, you got that thing in front of you.
I have
You think-
nothing.
yeah.
Look around.
Oh, you knew that? Well, maybe you related to him.
Yes, I do.
John Brown was the best.
I would say he has any black in him.
John
I got a little bit.
No, I mean Opie.
Where are you from? Where you born, Opie?
Here.
What, in New York?
Yeah, like Queens, Astoria.
Okay.
I'm a mutt.
What?
I'm everything.
So John,
probably got.
But anyway,
some
John
black
Brown.
in him,
John Brown.
Who- who's the other one?
He just, since they burnt it down, he said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So then he got violent. And, but he was great.
He wound up getting killed.
Oh, they killed him and his sons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lied to him. They put him in a trick bag.
Did they?
Yeah, for sure. But he was truly an American because he believed in everyone's freedom. And they said he was crazy.
Well, yeah. Back then, they would say that. You know what? It was kind of no one ever looks at it in the context of back then. Like, a lot of people really just thought that was a fine thing, perfect thing to do. Like slavery and conquering nations and imperialism and things like that.
Like now.
No, not so much now. I think there's a little more. I think there's a little more of an outcry now when you try to.
Yeah, kind of like the world is now.
No, come on, we got a black president, yo.
Are you talking about America or the world? You talking about the world or America?
You know what? I'm
You
serious.
just made a disgusting
No, I did that because it is so sad that you have to be so impressed. Why not a black president? Look at all the white ones you've had.
I was just impressed. I was just as impressed.
You know how many
as
white
everyone on
presidents
the
there have
news.
been?
Yeah.
Did you know how many white presidents have been?
43.
Come on.
Very good.
Yeah, that's about right.
They all have been white. Have you ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't I be angry? They all got to be white. Why are they all white?
Because up until a certain point, the idea of even having a black president was ridiculous. It wasn't ever going to happen.
You had a couple of them. They passed for white, like
And
you.
Like who?
Like you. They passed for white. We've had a couple of black presidents.
For real.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know Jefferson liked tagging a little black ass out back. I don't know about
Jefferson. What you think? You think Jefferson was the only one?
No.
His mistress was half sister to his wife. So what does that tell you?
Wow.
Now what does that tell you? It was all in the family.
Kinky.
I want to know who you thought was a black president.
Oh, there's many of them.
Name one.
What do you mean, name one? What are you trying to do?
You brought it up. I wanna know one.
Why would I tell on them? We have to keep it a secret. Yeah, so you can start hating them? I don't think so.
Taft's hair was a little questionable. Taft had some
He's a bit
questionable hair.
suspicious.
No,
You're right, Anthony.
there was a couple of them.
Let's go with Taft. Let's see what Taft. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Look him up.
Oh, yeah.
That hair is a
No,
little
he looked
questionable.
like,
Look him up.
No, he looked the complete opposite.
Fucking Wilford
He's
Brimley.
looking. He is looking.
Who would I think? Let me think.
All right, now you got us
Mustache.
thinking.
No.
Lincoln.
So those wigs
Lincoln?
were
Absolutely.
those wigs were
No.
covering
Absolutely.
up. The wigs were covering up the afro, is what he's saying.
The white wigs?
Yeah,
Those
we
big,
gotta go
long,
with the white
flowing
wigs.
wigs.
No, that's why Lincoln wore a hat. Because people were going, hey, are you? And he goes, oh, give me my hat.
Hey, we finally got a smile out of him. That's good.
I want to know who
Paul
the other
Mooney's
white
an
hero
intense
is.
motherfucker.
Who is the other white hero?
Oh, am I intense? Oh,
Yeah, you
you're
are.
funny. For a white man, that's very funny. I'm intense.
You're
Okay,
smiling
good.
a little bit now,
Okay,
which is
smiling
good.
a little bit. I'm
Which is
intense.
good. Which
okay,
is good.
Yeah.
Who's the other white hero?
Yeah,
I wanted to
yeah.
know. It was John Brown.
Brown,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got it already.
And who's the other white hero?
Yeah.
You said there was two.
Jim Norton. He's mine.
That's funny.
Who was the other white hero?
Yeah, who's the other one?
Let's go.
No, it's too many of you. I have to wait till I get part of my crew in here. It's too many of you.
You want to get some of the white people out of here?
Yeah. No.
We can
Get
do
some
that.
of the guys from Shade.
No,
45.
The Shade guys in.
If we get the white people out here, you'll be the only person leaving. So we don't want that.
Oh, damn. Now, let me tell you something. That does seem to be a tactic in the black community, is saying, look, you got some black in you. You got some. That seems to be a very, like, offensive. You're almost trying to make it offensive.
What?
By saying that, oh, you got black in you. You got black in
Offensive?
you.
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
but
Wait
you're
a minute.
almost using it as a combative
But how can I
tactic.
be the perpetrator
That's what I
when
mean.
the white man did the screwing? What are you talking about?
No. I'm saying that you.
He made the mixed babies. I didn't. So what are you talking about?
You're using it as almost
Using what?
saying that you got black in you. You have black in you as almost a way of as a tool of combat. Like, hey, you.
So
you
I
got
say
some black
I'm in
you.
New York because I'm in New York, and that's a reality.
No, because actually you.
That's what you feel. That's what you're getting. So you have to come out of that.
No, you seem to be using it as a tactic.
What kind of tactic?
Employed in as an insult.
A
almost.
reality
And
is an
I'd be
tactic?
surprised to have a black man using that as some kind of thing that's supposed to offend when it should be a compliment.
I don't even know what you're talking about. You sound like you're insane. Are you a crackhead?
No, I would not be a crackhead.
I'm using it.
He's
You
a cracker, but
I told
not a
you.
crackhead.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for that, white man. But he says you're a cracker, which you aren't a cracker.
No, I'm not a
No,
cracker.
you're not. But I'm just saying that you're just weird. I don't get you.
I don't know.
That's how everybody feels about you right now, Paul. We're trying to figure out where you're coming from.
Yeah, we're very confused by you,
Well,
Paul.
hey, you can be confused if you want to. I know what reality is.
Paul is a very, there's a lot of, not everything, I'm sure, but a lot of what you do and are is based in race, it seems.
Well, where do I live? In China?
No, you live in the
Race
United
was
States.
here way Do I look 400 years old to you?
No, but apparently you still carry that grudge.
It's not a grudge. I'm reacting to the environment that I'm in. What do you mean grudge? I don't have a grudge.
The environment
if I had a grudge, I would have come in here and blown your brains out. I don't have a grudge.
But you are old enough.
That's in my family. What is wrong with you?
You are old enough to have been on this earth long enough to see that things have progressed and changed. No?
No,
they have
now
changed.
How?
No.
From the 60s, from fire hoses and German shepherds to a black man in the White House.
No, listen to you. But I use something as a. Why do you keep saying that? So there's a black man in the White House. Yeah, he's an American.
Because that
right?
represents huge change. That was his platform has changed. That represents a huge change in the racial divide in this country. That's how I see it. I see the glass as half full, Paul. Yeah. You see it as half white.
Yeah, I don't see it as half white. You don't even have a glass, please.
Oh, he has a glass, all right.
Oh, yeah.
My glass is
or two, or three, or four, or five.
No, it just seems that you're very, I don't want to use the word hung up because it's a part of your life. It's very important. But race seems to play a very important part in your life.
Listen, Oprah, don't critique me, okay?
I'm not critiquing you.
Yes, you are critiquing me. Am I critiquing you?
I'm just saying.
You did critique him, though. You said he wasn't white. You did critique him.
Yeah, you did a little bit.
I'm just saying, no, but it seems whenever I see you on an interview or on stage or sat here and spoken with you, it is very racially motivated and based, the conversation, and I don't. You can't get out of that and just go, yeah, like driving my car down the country road or doing something. It always seems to have some kind of racial background.
If I'm on a country road and I see you, I'm running you over. How about that?
What the fuck?
That won't be about race.
If he doesn't run you over first.
Yeah, believe me.
You have no idea, man.
We'll play chicken.
You have no idea, man. He is the polar opposite of you, my friend.
No, well, I'm not that bad. I think he is very, very, racially, I think you're divisive. I find you racially divisive. There's a great division between black and white with you. More so than I think there are things in common.
Where have you lived the last 30 years of your life?
The United States of America.
Have you watched television and movies?
Yes, I have.
And you think that I'm about race?
Well, yeah. I think you only see
Have you watched old black and white films?
Oh, absolutely.
That were mostly white. Have you watched them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but I've also watched a wonderful performance by Sidney Poitier in A Patch of Green.
The perfect Negro, yes.
The perfect Negro.
But anyway, listen.
A Patch of Blue, excuse me.
Your comfort zone. But listen to me. You think that I've created racism on this planet?
No.
That I've created race on this planet? That's all it's been. That's all the films have been about. That's all it's all been about.
I'm just saying, I think it
was here way before I came.
It takes up a very big part of...
Don't take me and try to blame me for all of this.
Oh, no blame. I'm just saying it takes up a lot of your life.
Wait a minute, Sidney Poitier is the perfect Negro. Wait a minute. Now, let me ask you about because fucking even X liked Sidney Poitier because he never fucking conked his hair. He never played certain roles. He always played a dominant, smart dude.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
I mean, he never played a guy who was a fucking, who was a pawn.
But he was the perfect Negro. He was.
I mean, maybe in real life he married a white lady. That X had an issue.
No, it was Negroes then. Come on.
But how is he? But how is he? No, but I'm not that young. I mean, I'm not fucking 8.
No, you were not.
I look younger than I am. I look
accepted by the white man. He's a sellout. That's pretty much what I
say that.
But how is he
the perfect Negro?
How was he the perfect
Negro? During
Negro?
that time, he was.
But how?
What do you mean how?
Meaning, what constitutes a perfect Negro?
Come on. He was able to move around to interact with white people.
How do you feel about him?
What do you mean? How do I feel about him? I like Sidney. I've always liked Sidney.
Okay.
I love Sidney because he slapped the hell out of that white man in that movie, and it wasn't in the script.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't in the script?
Rod Steiger?
Yes, Rod. That was not. He slapped Rod Steiger in the heat of the night.
Rod Steiger. He slapped the other guy.
It was 1967.
He said, "Don't talk to me like that, boy."
And he slapped him.
He slapped him back.
I could have had you shot for that. Right.
That wasn't in the script. He slapped it. The theater went crazy.
I don't doubt it.
So how could you say
they probably burnt the screen down?
So how could you say he was the perfect Negro, almost in a negative way, like that's a sarcastic
thing? Now that you mentioned burning, I kind of like you. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh my God! What the?
But no, I don't know what you mean.
Well, that's.
But you should explain it. If I'm asking you, like I would like to know.
I just said to you, come on. He was the perfect Negro.
But how?
He was.
Are you saying that in a negative way? It sounds like a negative.
In a positive way.
The perfect
That was
Negro
the-
sounds like a sarcastic thing from a black guy talking about a black guy who he thinks is a sellout.
Well, because you're saying
sounds
black now.
sarcastic.
Black wasn't mentioned then.
Well, Negro, we know Negro does
And
not
colored.
cover white.
Negro and colored.
Right.
That's what it was about then.
Right.
So being the
here's-
perfect
No
Negro,
Afro-American, no black, none of this stuff. So, yeah. Go ahead.
is that negative or positive from you saying somebody's the perfect Negro?
It's almost saying like an Uncle Tom.
That's right. Of course it is.
Did I say Uncle Tom?
No, you didn't say it,
Now
but
you're
you
going to put
implied
words into my mouth?
Never.
No, but implications have final meanings.
That, Mr. Mooney.
Well,
I
what
would
does
never
perfect
attempt
Negro
that.
mean to you?
Perfect Negro, coming from a black man today, especially a guy who has race views like you do, is saying that he was comfortable for white people because he assimilated and appeased white people by somehow not his blackness or selling out his blackness. You ask me what that would mean to
There
me.
was
That's the
no
interpretation
blackness
I would
then.
have.
That's why you're confused.
But I'm not
There's
confused.
Yes, you are. There's
I'm
no
not.
African American, no
kinda
blackness.
confused.
You didn't have that dialogue that you're using now on me.
But I'm not using it on you.
Yes, you
You're
are. You're using it. You're saying this is what this means.
You
This is
said, what does
this
it mean
means.
to me? So I'm saying,
But
what
but
is
you're
it?
saying that because you weren't from. You don't come from that era. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
So you don't come from 1850, but you still talk about it. So
What
you
are you
still
talking
talk about the
I'm from
60s.
1850?
Meaning, you're not that old.
No, but I'm saying
You're 20
to
years
you-
older than me.
No, but I'm saying you. I may be 100 years older than you.
You're not.
I'm saying for you, for your youth, it is confusing for you because your life is different.
That's
and you
why
think
I-
differently.
that's
and
why
you
I
react
asked
differently,
you,
and you
what
have
do you
no
mean by
idea
it?
what a Negro is.
Well,
you don't have a clue.
Well, then I'm asking you to explain it.
I
and
just
you
explained it to you.
didn't. No,
Yes,
you
I did.
didn't.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm a smart guy. I would
I'm
have
sorry.
caught the
Well,
explanation had you given
should,
one.
Well, you should get smarter.
You're not
Because
giving the
he was
explanation. You're a bad
perfect
explainer.
Negro, and that's not negative.
What does it mean then? The perfect Negro, what does that mean? What is the implication behind that?
What do you want it to mean?
I don't care what
Apparently,
it means.
Yes, it does. Apparently, it's important to you. So what do you want it to mean?
No, it's
what
you
would
brought
be-
it up.
What would
You
be
brought it
comfortable?
up.
He just wants your definition of the
I would
perfect
gather
Negro.
You
from
guys
the time.
asked me a question, and I told you the question.
Because you said it, I was asking you just to clarify, what does it mean, the perfect Negro?
In the context of the time that he was around,
Yes.
he was the perfect Negro.
Yeah.
As opposed to saying Nat
Know
King
what it
Cole.
meant?
opposed to saying-
Know what it meant?
No.
That he could screw your mama. How about that? Guess who's coming to
Who
dinner?
cares?
That's what it meant.
My mother fucked a lot of black guys. That was just
I'm
her
just saying,
thing to
okay,
do.
well, fine. But I'm saying
She was
I'm
the
saying,
first
now
couple
what does it-
video maker.
Yeah. So now, what does it mean? That's what it means.
That's still not a good explanation. It sounds negative, and it sounds like it was meant to be
Well, I
almost.
can't. Listen. There's nothing I can do for you. I'm not a psychiatrist.
I think,
But go ahead.
Paul, a lot of things, Paul, that you say come off sounding a little negative or just mysterious. Like you're not sure. It's like, was that sarcasm or was he like being sincere?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all. That's what I'm seeing. So when you say
So
the
when you
perfect-
saw Sidney's movies, what did you think?
He was fucking great. He was great. He was a great actor. He was a powerful guy. He certainly didn't come off as a guy who went out of his way to appease anybody or to play a softer or subservient role. That's what I thought of Sidney Poitier.
defiant ones?
He's a brilliant actor.
Yeah, of course he was. First black to win an Oscar. We know that. He probably should have won another one for in the Heat of the Night. He probably should have won for that as well.
He wasn't the first black to get an Oscar. Mammy was from Gone with the Wind.
First black, yeah, but she didn't win Best
Supporting-
Actress, did she?
supporting actress.
She won supporting. I'm saying
Yeah.
the best acting. I should have clarified.
I don't know
was
nothing
Sidney
about birth
Poitier.
and no babies.
No, that was Butterfly McQueen. You're
Oh,
getting
that
them
wasn't
mixed
that?
up. Yeah. You're getting them mixed.
what do
You're
I
getting
know?
your mammies mixed up.
I thought that was Mammy.
No.
Jesus.
No.
I don't even know what's
that was
going on.
Butterfly McQueen.
Oh, shit. I thought... it wasn't the one-
Mammy was the fat one. Butterfly McQueen was a little skinny one.
Oh,
with-
she was the
remember,
skinny
you
one.
Remember? Yeah, see?
Damn me.
You two are getting along now. I like that. You two are getting
I
along.
was just talking about old
Oh,
films.
that's so nice.
Talking about old films
He
together.
doesn't even know who Mammy is.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know nothing about
God.
birth and no baby. That was Butterfly
I'm confused by
McQueen.
this Paul Mooney guy. I'm very
That's
confused.
too funny.
You're too used to having racial discussions with either black people or comfortable white or people white people who are uncomfortable asking, "What are you talking about with that?" That's why you get annoyed if somebody's asking you, "What do you mean by
We're
that?"
just talking movies. Come on. You ever see Birth of a Nation?
Yeah, once.
Yeah.
Once was enough.
Worst comedy I've ever seen.
I walked out on
You
that.
know they didn't have a script.
No?
No.
It was just they winged it?
And they were all in blackface. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I gotta rent that one.
Yeah, you got to rent that one if you can find it.
I know, that's a hard one to find. You get it on the internet.
Who was the lead? The female.
Who the fuck knows?
Cameron Diaz.
No.
Was it America's
She's dead.
Sweetheart?
She's dead. She's dead now, the one. She was a silent film star.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
America's Sweetheart, Mary Pickford.
People are. You want to take some phone calls? Let me say hi to Rich in Philly. Rich,
Aw,
what's
shit.
up?
Hey, boys, how you doing?
Pretty
Hi,
good.
Rich.
Hey, Mooney, I think I speak for a lot of people. What the fuck are you talking about?
What'd you say?
He said, your volume's on the bottom right. He said, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't understand a single thing you're saying. I mean, you're speaking English, but I don't understand a thing you're saying.
I can't hear it. Go ahead.
He basically is asking, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's talking about a few things.
What are the things, though?
What do you want him to clarify in general there, Rich?
Everything. How I'm not an American. What the hell a perfect Negro is. How about everything you've said since you walked into the Hi Guys.
I think he clarified what the perfect Negro was as much as Paul will. But as far as Americans go, he said it already. He said, Indians and Mexicans apparently are Americans.
Yeah, where do the Indians go? They realize the cradle of civilization is what, Mesopotamia? So there were
Mesopotamia.
Indians here at some point. So they walked here across the land bridge thing eons ago. So
the taint?
They walked across the taint to get to America.
The taint that connects Russia with Alaska.
There you go.
So the Indians weren't here originally either. God didn't put the Indians in, Dakota and say, here, this is yours. They got here also. So
I don't know what he's talking about now, Paul, to tell you the truth.
You and Paul should sit in a room together. I have no idea what you're talking about either.
Let me go to Bonnie in D.C. Bonnie, what's up?
He was very strange.
Bonnie.
Hey, okay, you guys have got to rewind the tape. Is anybody going to call him when he said, well, why shouldn't Barack be in the White House? He's an American. Well, then why aren't we?
How's Barack an American and we're not, Mr. Mooney?
I took that as sarcasm.
Oh, was it sarcasm?
Yes.
Yes, no, it wasn't. He said, why shouldn't he be in the White House? He's American.
No, I said it because all of them have been saying it.
Yes, yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, no, you stop. It's a joke. You stop.
Oh, shit.
Come on.
All right, let's go.
Goddamn white bitches, right?
No.
They never know when to shut up.
No,
you fucking white bitch.
No, she's an uncle woman. That's all.
Uncle woman.
Right.
Let's go to Kevin in Houston. Kevin?
Hey, good morning, boys.
Morning.
Hey, Mr. Mooney, it's really funny to me how you sit there and you regurgitate a bunch of crap that you've heard somebody say and pass it off like it's your own when you're sitting there totally contradicting yourself the entire time, acting like you're this 128-year-old person that lived during the Civil War, and you're not. You sound like a fucking uneducated idiot.
Wow. All right. Would you like to retort?
You're absolutely right.
I know I'm right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're right. You're right. Thank you for enlightening me. I'm glad you called. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You just call again. Call again. You're just brilliant. You're a genius.
Let's go to Eric in Houston. Eric.
Hey, Paul, hey, I'm a fan, just to tell you that. But, I heard a bit about you doing about how you hate Howard Stern. Because, he has a comedic radio show, and he made a racial remark or something like that, and you got all pissy about it. But you do the same thing in your show. You attack.
I got pissy at Howard?
Yeah, I'm saying, but
you got me mixed up. You got me mixed up with somebody else. I have never come after Howard Stern.
No, I'm saying you didn't go after Howard Stern. You didn't have a whole bit how you were calling him an idiot and you were calling him Robin a slave?
I never called him an idiot. Nope. You got it wrong, brother. You got it mixed up. You got it mixed up. You should call Howard and talk to him. I never called him that. You got me mixed up, brother.
All right. Awkward.
Hello?
Paul, we believe you.
Problem?
I don't know, Paul. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You think Howard would let me on his show? Come on.
Yes, I think so. Honestly, I think so.
No, that's...
To be confrontational, yes.
No.
Please, I am waking up. We have a show like that, and we have people on who we have confronted.
Yeah, but you know many times I've done that show? Come on.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, a lot of times.
Okay.
He's got it mixed up. They're like crazy out there.
What is Black is the New White?
It's a book.
You son of a Jesus Christ. I just can't get an answer out of him.
He's like
I understand. Physically, yes, it has covers
help us a little
pages
bit. We're trying
in
to
the
sell
middle.
books for you. The white man's trying to sell books for you.
What is the title, Black is the New White? Where did you...
Well, let me answer. It's a title.
That's how he would answer.
It's the big letters on the front of the book.
You're like a Dr. Seuss character. Just talk around shit.
Does that have, any significance? I mean, Black is the New White. Is that a commentary on maybe today's culture and whatnot?
You're living proof that Black is the new white.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How's that?
Now, how? Yeah.
All right, see?
Please.
Yeah.
No, this is where you have the problem.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's the way
You're
I
not
have the
good with the
problem.
follow-up question.
Everything
You're not good with the follow-up question.
Everything that you guys say is is correct.
But you don't have
you're innocent. And,
you're really
and
bad
it's
at the
not
follow-up
controversial.
question.
And it's me, and I'm the bad guy. I'm the big bad guy. And when I leave here, I'm going to see to it that none of you have a job. I'm going to see to it about your neighborhood.
Damn.
The bad guy's going to fix all of you when I leave here.
Oh, shit.
No, you just have a problem with follow-up questions.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That was a very good follow-up.
That was a good question. That was a good question.
What was the original question, Anthony?
If it is a commentary on today's society,
Yes,
black
yes,
is the new
sir.
white, and you
You're
said
right.
you are proof of that. And I just want to know
And the
how.
follow-up question would be, why would you say
being
that?
sarcastic.
We understand
I
sarcasm.
understand.
We're very good.
I don't think you understand anything. I think what you understand. Yeah, go ahead.
It does seem to be a commentary, though, on what's going on today.
Yeah,
Black
it
is the new white.
Yes, it's about my relationship with Richard Pryor. It's about humor. It's about comedy. It's about my grandmother. It's about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it. Just get the book and read it.
Who does seem to me, again, I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Who's full of shit?
Seems to enjoy pushing buttons, making confrontation, and he's very good at doing it.
Yeah, he don't give a shit.
He's very good at doing it.
He doesn't give a shit about anything.
Phones. Dude, the phones, he's lit up these phones with angry motherfuckers.
I did say
Perfect.
I did say the phones will light up.
No.
Paul is in here.
No, they're not even angry. With that said, I got to go to Wire because I think he'll say it for everybody. Go ahead, Wire. Of course that
phone doesn't
won't
work.
Fucking
His
work.
damn phone. It might be that
Some of our
line.
phones aren't working. He says this is the most interesting radio that never produced anything.
Well, it's, going out there, and it...
Yeah. They're calling you the Al Sharpton of comedy. That's
Al Sharpton's
what do
the Al Sharpton.
you like
of
Al
comedy.
Sharpton, Mr. Mooney?
Al Sharpton's, he says he's 52. His hairdo's 52.
He does have one of those
Not a
old
fan?
style.
No, what do you mean not a fan? Al is all right. I mean, we need an Al.
You think
how
you
about
need
you
an
get a
Al?
better Al?
Yeah, we
As
need an
far
Al.
You
as
can
like,
get a better Al.
We need an Al. We need it.
a lot of people say they don't like him as the self-anointed black leadership because he doesn't represent what a lot of black people. I'm talking mainstream, just go to work every day, raise their family. Black people, they look at Reverend Al and go, he's perpetuating people's stereotypes.
No, he's out there. I went to his birthday party, and he kept calling this Asian lady Little Kim. And I said, why is he calling that woman Little Kim? And then I got over there, it was Little Kim.
Right.
I didn't know surgery could change your race, but it was her.
Oh, shit. Did she get a little tug?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's fucking funny, man.
One thing about watching Mooney do comedy, it really is fun to watch. It's when you go to Caroline's. I will say this. I've never seen a guy who has as much new material every time and who really has no worries about offending the audience, which is nice to see. I've watched you sit up there, it's on a stool with a glass.
We're trying to figure out what you drink.
Yeah, whatever that is
What's in that glass?
in that glass you drink. It's just, you sip it.
Not going to answer that either.
What?
What is it you drink on stage? Because I've seen you. You always have like a little. It's
Red Bull.
No.
You know a black man created Red Bull. You do know that.
The black man created everything. We know
No,
that.
Red Bull.
Stoplight. We wouldn't have the stoplight if it wasn't
Of
for the black
course.
man.
I forgot.
The toilet.
Yeah, the toilet. Well, wait a minute. No, I thought Mr. Crapper
you read
invented
Dr.
No,
Jakob.
no,
White
no.
people just ate our own shit in a fucking hole somewhere.
Yeah.
What about what?
He doesn't drink Red Bull. He won't even answer that
But
question.
go ahead.
I'm gonna guess it's something out of
Cognac.
Cognac out of a
Oh, come
or
on. Now
Cavassier.
you're being racial, please.
Cavassier.
You're back to that. We've gotten away from that. We were all friends. It was all going to be great.
I
And then
always gotta
you
bring
got back to the crap.
Well, I could read some of this and say it's grape juice or grape soda, actually, but fuck that up.
It's Red Bull, brother.
Is it Red Bull?
No, tell us what it is, because then you'll get some free
Probably
shit.
is Red Bull.
No, I don't think it's Red Bull. See, he's laughing at you now. It's not Red Bull. I knew it wasn't Red Bull. This guy doesn't need Red Bull.
Keeps that energy up.
You don't need Red Bull. You need something
You
to mellow
are
him out.
funny. You are very funny. It probably is.
It's not.
Probably is. I don't see how it's not. All right, well, black is the new white.
Black is the
Because I
new
want to
white.
talk a little more about the book that you
Why?
won't
You're
talk
not going to get
about.
an answer.
No, black is the new white.
Got any pictures in here?
No, the black man in Cleveland proved that.
I want to see some pictures. Oh,
Oh, let's
okay.
talk about this.
Yeah,
got any
the black serial killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a white man trapped inside of it.
That makes all us white people happy. Yeah. Finally a black guy.
He wants out.
Paul, we're trying to sell books for you. No one's going to buy the book unless you give us a little more than what you have.
What are you talking about?
looks like a good book.
It is a good book. He read it. It's good. It's great.
Look at that.
What are some of the chapter
pictures.
names?
They're just 1, 2, 3. The chapters aren't really named.
Why aren't you naming your chapters? Makes it easy for everybody. Now you're pointing at me.
I see it, chapter 16. It's named chapter 16.
Yeah, but
This is something.
You know?
I actually circled this.
Yeah.
This is on page 18. And Paul
notice
wrote,
you only read the first 20 pages, Paul. See?
No, I read up to page 38.
38.
It says here, he was talking about white and black company. He goes, it's true. Whatever the quality is that white people enjoy in black people, I ain't got it.
Good for you.
That is a fantastic.
Good for you.
We got a really good question coming in. I don't know what if we're going to get an answer, Jerome, but try. Jerome in Florida.
First off, I really wish Patrice O'Neill was there for all this. But I actually got 2 questions. First question is, do you think that, as a whole, black people are actually more racist amongst each other than white people are? And then, secondly, I wanted to get your view on your thoughts on white. I just lost it.
White guilt,
White guilt,
You're
white
panicking.
I see it written there. You are a panicky Pete.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I get panicky on them.
Well, you should be.
We talk about white guilt on this
Hey,
show.
sir, don't let them bother you. Your question that you asked, yes, there's a lot of racism between the race itself because they learn from the best. You're a very smart man, and don't let these maniacs throw you. Okay?
How can everything, even that black people do, be traced back to blame on white people?
Only the negative stuff.
Can't black people take responsibility for certain things as just, hey, maybe we have to deal with this problem as black people and not just spin it and say, all right, there's racism in our community. It doesn't have to be they learned from the best, which is the white man, of course. We know what you're talking about, Paul. Why can't black people in the community just take up some responsibility, raise those families, keep the men in the family to raise the children and teach them some values and stuff, and maybe think about not having 8 kids and things. Just these certain.
There's something wrong with you.
No, Paul.
There's something
wrong
with you. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Yeah, addressing after slavery. Listen.
It's done.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Listen to me. You reap the benefits. Shut up. Here's the deal.
I didn't reap shit.
Well, your parents failed. Listen.
They were in Italy. Apparently having sex with black people.
Yes, apparently. Look at the world after freedom. When slavery, we lived with white people in their homes. Okay? Mm-hmm. When we got free, white people don't even want us in their neighborhoods. It's about ownership. If tomorrow slavery came back in, the whitest area in New York, they would be on their porch. Welcome home. We've been waiting. We haven't changed a thing. Go to your room. It's the way it is.
I got a Roomba.
What's that?
It's an automatic vacuum cleaner.
But anyway, go ahead. Do your whole thing about it. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
We blame you for everything.
There has to be certain things that
that we take responsibility.
That you need to take responsibility for and address, not in an Al Sharpton way. That's what I'm talking about. Black. That's what I'm saying. Black leadership that does not address the true problem, which is black people have to take more responsibility about the problems that they're faced in the community. The high crime, the disproportionate number of crimes committed in black communities.
That's not true.
It is true.
White people commit crimes too. That's not true.
Not at a disproportionate number.
No, come off of it.
Black people. It absolutely true.
The prisons are full of white folks and black people and everything else. The white people commit crimes.
10%, 12% of the national population.
How much money?
Of the prison population.
Much money does a white person steal?
I have no idea. A lot.
Well, it depends. Now, not as much per
Excuse me. A lot.
Like what?
Billions. But you know what? All those people are alive to go, that motherfucker ripped me off. It's not one guy with a bullet in his head for $20.
But why don't you...
Get smarter with your crime.
No, what are you talking about? That's not true. That is not true.
It is true.
It's not true.
How is that?
White people do more crime to white people than they do to blacks.
Of course, we're afraid of black people.
No,
we're not
listen,
gonna do crime to black people.
Something's wrong with you.
No,
You're afraid of black people.
I am a realist.
Then when you look in the mirror, do you scream?
You know what's wrong? I'm honesty.
So when you look in the mirror, do you scream?
No.
You just said you were afraid of black people.
You
just said you were afraid of black people, so you look in the mirror and you scream.
I'm talking about white society wouldn't perpetrate.
Now you're in charge of white. You're the spokesman for white society.
Thank you. I am.
Yeah.
We wouldn't perpetrate.
And being part black.
There aren't
you
many
sound crazy.
white on black crimes. As many as there are black on white crimes based on the population.
That's not true.
Population. Absolutely true.
No, it's not true.
FBI statistics, my friend.
FBI what?
FBI.
You believe them?
Motherfucking FBI.
You believe the FBI?
Yes,
You're
I believe
stupid.
the FBI. FBI stats.
That's like believing your doctor. Do everything your doctor says and you'll surely die. Something's wrong with you.
I wish people could see. Every time Mooney says something to Anthony, he looks at me like, can you believe this motherfucker?
Jimmy makes the same face. Paul, we're kind of on your side. A little more on your side than you realize. He's nuts.
Yeah, I think Paul's crazy.
And you thought Jimmy was dying from cancer. Did I bring him along? I'm
just trying to...
Hey, we got two more brothers coming down the hall. Brothers!
Help you out.
Let them come in and help you out, Paul. I don't even know what they do around here. I'm just walking by. All right.
That there has to be more accountability in the black community about problems that are inherent in that community, and not so much putting the blame on white people and and slavery. Yeah. That's all I was saying, Paul.
Yeah, put the blame on Maine.
Blame what? What?
Put the blame on Maine.
Put the blame on Maine.
Yeah, you know where that's from.
That's pretty good. Is that a CCR song?
I like that.
No, it's not a CCR song. Is it the band? What is it?
You know, it's just, it does seem that, you know, you were shoving some of those issues off on Whitey, and I had to step up because I'm a quarter white, you know.
That part of you got you crazy.
Yes, I'm great. I know.
And the black half of you said, "Oh, Paul, let's just stop and go eat at Sylvia's. Let's go to Sylvia's."
I feel like walking. I feel like walking in true romance.
We got some African princesses outside the studio. Want to bring them in, Paul? What's up? Come on in, help us out. No? All right. Who was that?
What do you think of, because you talk about Cosby, too, and Cosby was a great comedian. What always kind of bugged me about him is that he spoke one way on stage, and he was mom and pop, and it was very, very funny family stuff. And then off stage, he had definitely a different way of talking. And, you know, again, Pryor spoke through his work. You talk about that in the book. Do you like Cosby, or do you kind of wish he had talked more about race in his act, or more than real him?
He did what he did. I've known Bill Cosby since I was 18 years old, maybe 17.
But I'm saying, do you like him as a comic, or do you wish that he had done, would you have respected him more as a comic if he had kind of brought more
No,
real
what he
life
did,
into
he
it?
was good at what he was doing. He was a storyteller. He was funny. All this stuff was funny. Cosby was very funny. I mean, I always thought he was funny. I mean, he wasn't as funny as Richard, but Richard was into him. I mean, Richard just worshipped him.
There's a great interview with Pryor.
Oh, yeah.
And a great interview with Pryor. It was shot on the set of Stir Crazy. And you could tell that they had done the interview. Richard was with this guy. They had done the interview in the morning, and I think the sound didn't work. And then so the guy came back in the afternoon, and I think Richard had tipped a few back and was a little drunk. And do you know the interview I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. It's that seems to me to be what Pryor was like to be around. He was kind of intense. He was very funny, very smart, cutting, and kind of almost uncomfortably aggressive.
But unpredictable.
Yeah, exactly.
You couldn't really predict him. He was a lot. Dave Chappelle's the same way.
Seems that way.
You couldn't. Unpredictable. And Dave Chappelle, Richard's mother was a prostitute. His father was a pimp. And Dave Chappelle's, both his parents are educators. You know, he's a very bright boy, that Dave.
Yeah.
They both were educators. And so he's got a lot of brains.
I got to ask Jimmy something that, because you've discussed that thing about Cosby not really taking, you know, he has his act, and then he had his behind the scenes, what not behind the scenes, his life in front of the scenes. Do you feel a comic is obligated to take his ideology onto the stage with them? Because I know there are some comics that their life is their act, and others have an act and then a life, which is totally different than what they're portraying on stage.
No, I don't feel I think whatever makes. I don't think you should be dirty or should be clean or should be political. Whatever is organic to making you funny. But to me, if you talk a lot off stage and you're very vocal off stage, then you should speak through your work. It's almost like when a singer writes a song about love and then he wants to do nothing but talk politics off stage. It's like, why should we listen to you talk politics when you have a forum and it's your art?
But there are a lot of pop stars, let's say, that make a lot of money. They have great careers playing music they hate and want to play, music that wouldn't be as accepted and as financially viable. So they do it for other reasons. I don't think there's any less respect for that, for a comic going up and doing, here's my act, it's almost as if you're doing a character, not over the top like, character, but then you get off stage and here's my life, here's the person I am.
But then they're saying, now listen to me off stage. That's the problem I have. If a guy if a guy off stage is just, hey, he is who he is and he lives his life, whatever his act is his business. But if you're actually using the fame you've gotten from your act to take this public forum and then talk about this, it's like, well, you have a forum and it's your art. Why wouldn't you speak through your art?
Oh, okay.
That's why, and I'm not saying you have to. Like, to me, Carlin, Pryor was greater than Carlin because Carlin was a brilliant a social analyst, but Carlin didn't talk anything about who he was, his private life. Pryor took all of it, politically, socially, his personal life, and he talked about it on stage. He used his fucking art.
Yeah. But Carlin actually... He told you what he really felt and what he felt.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. He didn't back off.
No, not at all.
He really didn't. He caused a lot of, they wanted to murder him.
Yeah. So I'm not knocking, I love Carlin. I'm saying that's the thing to me that I loved even more about Pryor was that he took not only his social...
See, and this whole thing about, the Lenny Bruce story, we just love Lenny, it was all such crap. Those white people wanted to kill Lenny Bruce.
Yeah?
I was there when they arrested him.
Because it was almost as if they portray it like the audience was, yeah, Lenny, let's go, fuck the police and everything.
No, they wanted to kill him. And
really,
he was a heroin addict, too, but he was in... Our society, he was in their face. Mm-hmm. He was on their jock, and he didn't let them get away with anything. And they did not like it. They cuffed him. I mean, come on, from what we say, I mean, if it was back in the day, they'd have us all in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's something that changed for the better, right?
Look at that.
That's all comics, yeah.
That's something that changed for the better.
What?
The way
that they want to arrest us?
No, you could say more shit.
To tell you the truth, that's going to say more shit.
Yeah.
Were you the one who said that they wanted to arrest Pryor at a gig? It was there was like 12,000 people in the audience. They didn't. Like they it
would have been a riot or something.
Yeah. When was that? Or Richard was in the same kind of a boat as Lenny was, and they just didn't want to come on stage.
No, they didn't want to do it. They wanted to. You know, every year we do the thing for the homeless. And the actors out of work, the Laugh Factory. You know how we do that.
I don't know about it.
Okay, we do that. We do the whole thing. We'll do it this Thanksgiving.
Is it
Christmas.
a hunt?
Huh?
Nothing.
Okay, go ahead. Anyway, I'm on stage performing. We get helicopters and the police come in. Jamie looks like a Mexican,
Yeah, he's
a Jew.
Yeah.
And he comes to the door. And the owner, and they threw him to the side. They threw it, shut up. And I'm there, and the police are there. It's about 8 of them. They say, come here to me. I said, I'm not coming to you, because I was on private property, Oh, okay. They come inside the place, trespassing, telling me that they've got a description of me. I said, but I'm not outside. What are you talking about? Someone has to be on the inside. And it was a cop, because, the police pretend like they're homeless. You know that. They dress up like they're homeless so they can find out all the things that's going on in the streets.
No, that's just because Bloomberg doesn't pay them enough.
Who?
The cops.
Yeah, the cops.
Well, I thought Bloomberg was a cop. He's not a cop?
No.
Okay. But go ahead.
See, sorry, that was pro cop. Sorry, something you probably wouldn't agree with or know about.
But anyway, let me finish
what
the
happened?
story.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't come to them, and I told them to call their police chief, whoever it was, and just to admit they were there for me, because some cop didn't like what I was saying, and they only come for their own. You know that. They don't come for every little phone call, because if they did, people hate police. They would be out every day, every 5 minutes. Yeah. And so it all ended up, they did call there was a female, and I talked to them, and they admitted it. They were told that I was talking about some stuff that they didn't like.
What was the stuff?
Huh? It was just racial and about the police in L.A. You know how they are.
All right,
and that racial profiling, that insanity that they do there. You know that.
Yeah, because why,
But I'm saying,
why profile the people that are perpetrating the crimes, instead of...
You don't think racial profiling exists?
No,
it definitely
I
does.
think it exists, and I agree with it in part.
You agree with it?
I agree with the fact that if you're looking for a young black man that committed a robbery, let's say, you should be able to say on the news, and the suspect was a young black man, so that if somebody
Listen,
can
let me
see
tell you
this guy,
something. I've been in the cars with white people when I'm riding shotgun. They've pulled us over and asked me for my license. And that's racial profiling. And asked the white people, are you okay? I've been in the car with white friends.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I've been in the car.
Holy shit. Okay, that's pretty funny.
No, it's pretty funny. It's reality. And you think it's funny?
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to be a joke,
And you think it's funny?
I thought that
Because
was
you like it. You agree with it.
I thought that was part of your act.
No, because you agree with it.
You're laughing at something.
I've been in a two-seater Mercedes with a rich white friend that's drunk, and I'm glad the police are pulling us over. And they take me to jail.
Ah, shit.
And you're laughing. He's trying to make it.
I understand his point.
Trying to show you
I'm just
how
saying,
it sucks
there is
to be black in America.
And then asking me, wait, be quiet.
Okay,
Because you have
right.
because you have you don't have a concept. Asking me, where are you going? Is that on your driver's test? Where am I going? I didn't know I had to have a South African pass to be in this area.
Usually when they ask
Do you live in the area? Do you?
Right. Usually when they ask where you're going, it's to see if you have somewhere where you are going.
You know what my answer is?
Up.
You know what my answer is?
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
I'm driving until I run out of gas. You'd like to follow me?
You know what my answer usually is? I tell the cop where the fuck I'm going,
No,
and they don't
no.
drag me out of the vehicle.
Know what I tell
and
them?
I'm a black man.
But you know what I tell them?
What?
If I tell you where I'm going, I'm going to get in trouble. And they go, why is that? So I'm on my way to your house.
See? No wonder. No. And then you heard the sound of the taser. I tell the cop where I'm going. I hand him my fucking license.
Yeah.
I'm courteous. And then I'm on my way. It's not this, why I gotta tell you where I'm going. I am outraged.
Is that a black accent?
That's my
That was
Reverend
Sharpton.
Oh, that's insane.
That's a good Sharpton.
I am outraged.
Yeah, you should be doing commercials.
Outraged.
That's a good Sharpton.
That's a good one. You gotta admit.
No,
Gotta
not
admit.
quite.
That sounds like
No, not quite.
a little bit.
We should get him
No,
out of here.
Sharpton is thank you. Thank you. I thought it was thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was
Michael. I thought it was
damn.
thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have heard him say that.
Yeah, I thought it was thank you,
I
Michael.
just hear him when he's outraged.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, the racial profile, it's insane. I mean, then when they stop you, you got to be double jointed in the circus to pass the drunk test. Now, you've been through the drunk test?
Knockwood? No.
Well,
I should've been.
they told me walk a straight line.
They meant in life.
And I ran. Don't give me a head start. Yeah, don't give me a head start. We're going.
We're running out of show.
And it was dark.
We gotta get him out of here because we got Greg Gutfeld.
Listen to, now see this racism? Did you hear it?
Bring in the Jew.
Did you hear it?
Hold on.
We've gotta get him out of here.
Hold on, let me say this. You can stay to the end of the show. We just got to get another guy in here. That's
See,
all.
you hear the racism? See?
I know.
Oh, we're done. We're done.
talking
We're
about?
done.
We
We're
gotta
done.
get him out of
Hey,
here.
white boy,
What are
we're
you
done.
talking about?
We're done,
He
white
didn't
boy.
mean just for the show. He was like, we got to get him out of here. And all his
That's right. And he's holding up a plane ticket.
Like, go back to Africa.
Jesus.
I don't like it. You want to go back to Africa then.
Why don't we have
Paul
Paul
Mooney.
here with Greg Gutfeld?
No, I don't know if you want to
he's a
stay,
very-
Paul. You want to stay?
Yeah.
Who's great?
He hosts
Fox.
Red Eye on Fox. He's a
You
very
should be
funny
on
guy.
Red Eye.
It's Red Eye is a show on Fox overnight. It's
Is
a.
it you?
I actually don't know.
Gutfeld?
All right, you're staying. It's obvious.
Jesus Christ.
Stay, Paul's staying.
We're taking a break. Paul Mooney's book is Black is the New White. All kidding aside, it looks like a really good fucking read. So
Yeah,
we're going to
thanks.
continue with
Okay,
Paul Mooney,
yeah.
and we're going to
That's
get
great.
Greg Gutfeld in here to wrap up the show. Stay there.
All right.